All right, let's talk about Boston and Carolina, Game 1. First of all, let me say that if you are watching this video, if you're watching my videos, and you have not yet subscribed, please do so. I would really appreciate it. So we have Tuukka Rask against Mrazek, and the Bruins and the Hurricanes exchange a pair of goals in the first period. So Carolina gets on the board first. Joel Edmondson takes a one-time slap shot from just inside the blue line. Rask is probably going to say that he should have had it. I think it went kind of between his blocker arm and his body, but he was moving side to side. It was a one-timer. He might have been a little bit screened, so yeah, it wasn't a great goal maybe, but it wasn't a bad goal by any stretch. So then later in the first period, the player on the Bruins, who shall not be named, passes across the crease to Pasternak, and he one-times it. Mrazek stood no chance. So then we go to the second period, and the Bruins get on the board to make it 2-1 in the second period. Kind of a weird goal. Mrazek makes the initial save, and then he gets another shot, which he thinks he has covered with his glove. But just as he's covering it, one of the Bruins players kind of swats at his glove with his stick, and it pops out. And so he's got, the whole net is effectively empty because Mrazek is down on the far, what would be his far blocker side, thinking that he's got the puck under him. And Boston puts it in. Mrazek argued that he had the puck covered and that the play should have been blown dead, but to no avail. So then Carolina ties it up a bit later with basically 5 minutes left in the second. McGinn gets a breakaway. Kind of dekes Rask out of his shorts a little bit, and then goes to Rask's trapper side and backhands it over Rask's glove. But he really put a good move on Rask and got Rask to bite and go down and commit, and then he was able to just go to the side and beat him. It's really a pretty goal. Go back and watch it if you haven't seen it yet. So then 59 seconds into the third, Krejci scores. Mrazek makes the initial save. Krejci's pretty much left all alone. You could call it a bit of a defensive breakdown. Krejci's able to just basically go around Mrazek, who's down, puts it in beyond him. So now it's 3-2 Boston at this point, early in the third period. So with about 10 minutes left in the third, Hayden Fleury scores on a shot from the point. It was not deflected, although a Canes player did try to deflect it, and it beat Rask clean. Maybe Rask was a little bit screened. That's another one Rask is going to say. He's going to admit on his own he should have had that. He might have been screened a little bit, but because it was completely undeflected and it was a shot from the point, he probably should have had that one. So I would call that a rare miscue by Rask that you're not going to see very often. So the game is 3-3 at this point, and it goes into overtime. Well, can you imagine? I mean, it ended up going into double overtime. Can you imagine if they would have played that game last night? I mean, I get it. If they'd have played the game last night, it could have been totally different. Could you imagine if they'd had that 5 overtime game last night between Tampa Bay and Columbus? And then they said it takes 87 minutes between games. There must be at least 87 minutes for them to do everything that they have to do between games. So imagine that game gets over last night, that 5 overtime, 87 minutes, and then Carolina and Boston take the ice and go into double overtime. I know it wouldn't have worked out that way because it would have been totally different, but that would have been awesome. That would have just been amazing. Anyway, goes into overtime. Nobody scores in the first overtime. We go to the second overtime, and a little over a minute into the overtime, and Bergeron scores on a pass from the player from Boston who is not to be named. And he beats Mrazek over the glove. And, sorry, I got cars going by and they just attract my attention for some reason. I got to look at them. I have no idea why. Anyway, he beats Mrazek over the glove. I think Mrazek would probably say, yeah, I should have had that one. It wasn't a bad goal by any stretch on Mrazek's part. I mean, Bergeron was maybe like 7 feet out, takes a pass, and it's not a one-timer, but he does get off a pretty quick shot. So, I'm not going to fault Mrazek on that. It's just a good goal by a good goal scorer. So Boston goes up 1-0 in the series. They outshot Carolina in that game 40-28. So Mrazek allows 4 goals on 40 shots, so that's a 90 save percentage. And then Rask allows 3 goals on 28 shots, so not quite as good of a save percentage there. But, well, let's see, 3 goals on 28 shots. It's almost 90%. It's not quite 90%, but it's close. Anyway, so, but I think that Rask would argue that he definitely should have had that 3rd goal, and probably maybe should have had, the other one, too, that I had mentioned. So, whatever. There was no bad goaltending in this game. Even the one that I think Rask should have had. I don't know. I think I'm just inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt because it's Tuukka Rask, he's fantastic. But I don't afford that to everybody, so maybe I'm being double standard here. But hey, I like a goalie who plays for Boston that I hate. So, I can have a double standard if I want. Cut me some slack. Anyway, thank you for watching. Do please subscribe. Hit the like button. I would appreciate that. And leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. I appreciate those too. Even if you leave a comment that I totally don't agree with, that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate your comment. So, like, if you're like, yay, Boston, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. But you can go ahead and put that comment. I don't mind. I just won't agree with it. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye now.